Hey, what is up, you guys? Kokosing Valley Model Railroad speaking. Well, I'm going to give you guys kind of a quick update what's going on the railroad here. We've been working on some new scenery around the edges of the railroad, updating some of the new scenery like this. Going around the layout, they're just updating things, street lights. The engine facility here has lights inside of it now. They're pulling the roundhouse out to, it's got lighting inside of it, but we need to get the lighting system connected to it so we can light it up. And the scenery is around the whole railroad here. We'll just work our way around. Let's start in this area here and just work our way straight and go all the way around. This is an update on the Kokosing Valley central HO gauge layout. So you guys know this is HO gauge. So a lot of the small details, like somebody being towed up the street. There's a forklift loading lumber from the lumber yard onto a train. There's a little train station here. But not really a train station, an old freight depot where they're probably tearing it down or doing something with it. Some interesting vehicles on the railroad. Some trees. There's another grain silo. We're adding another scenery to it. There are hopper cars waiting to be picked up by a train. Here is a Norfolk and Western passenger train here in the track waiting to head out. So all the scenery down through here is being updated. And just trying to make it look nice. Down here we have a tractor sitting on a flat car. Now, if you look at the numbers on it, it says Aston Topeka and Santa Fe on it. And that number is familiar to everybody else if they have a Tyco flat car. Now this Tyco flat car has steel wheels, Ertl tractors, and everything is all loaded down on this. Here's another barn, a freight barn. There's a box car being loaded up with something. There are some propane tanks here. Now the grain bins are very interesting. This was hand turned on a lathe. This is piping. This was PVC piping. And all of this has been hand turned on the lathe. Now, to make it look like, like galvanized steel on top of a grain bin. All this is foam, been painted and weathered by a friend of mine. And he did all that and put the grain mill together. And he did most of the work on that, but the track work he did not. They came up with the idea for this area here. And coming up to the farm. Big old field being turned and ready for that. Cows and horses in the corner. There are hay being stacked and dried. There are round bales up against the wall, against the barn. And there's a truck inside the storage bin right under the drying building where the corn is put. There's a small grain drying silo. There's two combines, matchbox combines waiting to go, and they fit nicely with the scene of the farm. There's a apple orchard here. And here's a train crossing going across. There's a bridge going out into the countryside. It's not really much of a road going that way, but you kind of get the idea. Moving around, we do have, there's a little building back in the background there. Columbia Gazette office. That's a newspaper office. And then we have our Mount Vernon train depot here. This is Mount Vernon right here. The depot has little people on it all the way around. There's a coffin sitting on the flat car, probably for a train to pick it up for a funeral, probably in another town. There's some vehicles here waiting at the station of Mount Vernon. There are vehicles. There's a truck picking up. There's a horse carriage coming in to pick up someone famous, taking them out. There's a Greyhound bus heading somewhere, probably out somewhere. There's a car with a person waiting to get ready to go. And there's a person probably waiting for the train to come here at the station here. We're coming up into kind of a small town here, part of the Mount Vernon thing. Diner here. There's O'Larry's Garage there, Amoco Gas. You have a truck service facility. There's a guy welding a truck that usually lights up, but the layout's turned off for right now. Lots of road vehicles on the HO scale. There's a lot of detail, little detail items like the general store. There's stuff outside there, and then there's the hardware and plumbing and electrical part, paint outside of the shop there. There's a barber shop there and tobacco shop. And, you know, a mixed variety of cars and vehicles. There's a semi-truck carrying a Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. There's a signal tower here for the crossover. And there's some buildings like some of these older kits here, like Burlington Mill Factory here. And we're getting into a residential area. And the power lines are really nice because it gives that feel of a real railroad with all the wires on it. Now we're coming up to Fredericktown. An interesting little town here. It's got a general store. It's got the same plumbing shop. Must be a chain of them around here. Some other buildings here with people and cars, and there's a little park here. Kids swinging and having a good time. There's a motorcycle group. Uh-oh, somebody fell over. Might have to fix that on the layout. Moving right along here, we're moving into Fredericktown. Here's a truck coming in to deliver a load at one of the freight depots here. And here is a movie theater. So surprisingly enough, they're showing something on the movie tonight. Huh. Interesting. And there's other buildings here as well. There's a lot of vehicles, cars. Here's another bus heading out of town. And there is a railroad workman on a velocipede or a hand trike or a trike car or something like that. We're in Fredericktown. Here's Fredericktown and the feed mill up here, which the real feed mill is now closed down. It's now currently up for sale in Fredericktown, Ohio, where I live currently. The two truck trailers up at the feed mill, they're probably getting something loaded up. There's an old freight depot with stuff being loaded. I'm coming into here. There's some small buildings here. There's a little funny place. There's a Chinese laundromat there. C's Chinese laundromat. There's a couple little buildings here. Here's a coal place here. They're going to be picking up coal here. It's a coal mine company. It's a King Steel Corporation. They have a track down here where their coal is being offloaded and delivered. There's a little office down here. We'll go back to the train station. Now these little areas like where this pin is sticking up, that's where the track needs to be worked on, or it's just high up. There's a bump in it. We'll go back to the station. There's some people here at the train station waiting. Not very many. There's a motorized handcar in the shed there. We'll work our way back down to where we got back started. There's a police car sitting back in the corner here, waiting to go catch a burglary on somewhere around. There's a fire truck and a railroad vehicle. There's on the campsite, people are fishing. There's some sort of, looks like a beaver dam up there. I don't really know. So there are people out there camping. We're coming up to a nice little general store here, out in the middle of kind of Nowheresville from the area. There's a fire. It's usually lit up right there normally. If you guys look back on some of the other videos of the trains operating, you'll see this. Most of the buildings here are lighting up. There's a little bit of a construction site here. They're building a new railroad going around the corner here eventually. Old train station turned into a house, or they moved it from somewhere. People coming home. There's a milkman delivering milk. Here's a church. Lots of cool vehicles here. There's a cemetery in the back there. And we're coming up to kind of the fair and circus area. There's a box car delivering some stuff to the circus and fair area, which all of these will eventually move. We need to get newer motors and better equipment. We're coming up to the circus here. Lots of detail here in the circus. And the track climbs up now. The road construction crew you saw right there with the red yellow vehicles. Now they're going to be working on laying the track up to here in this spot here. Over here is our N-scale T-track module. Now I'm not going to go over this one very much. I just wanted to show you guys an update of the HO layout, but we'll give a sneak peek. You guys seen a couple videos of this layout. There are no trains in operation on here yet. We're all improving stuff on here. We'll move right around the railroad. There's a lot going around here at the circus. There's a swing ride here. People can get on and go swinging around. Very busy circus. Now there is the scrapyard here. Go around here. Now there is the scrapyard here. Yeah, there hasn't been much change to the scrapyard, but there are 2 old rusty steam engines sitting there at the scrapyard. There's one being on a flat car. There's an old gravel pit crane put to good use, picking up scrap metal and moving into flat cars. There's pipes and stuff. There's part of the circus there. Now here in the circus, it's detail, but I wish this was turned around so you could see the whole inside of it. It's pretty fun. This was a pain in the butt just to work on that and put that on there. There are some steam tractors there. You might notice a few Tom's characters sitting there on the layout. The favorite is this fair steam tractor, a red one, of George, Trevor, Save from Scrap Trevor, and then the regular Trevor. And we're coming into the yard. There's still a lot more work up here. A lot of these tracks will be moved up to here more. There's not very much scenery on here, some of the spots. But, you know, eventually they will improve this whole area again. There's a little trailer sitting here at the train yard. Somebody probably lives there and takes care of the yard here. There's a little cabin under the bridge, like an old shed. There's a signal tower here for the yard going in. Up on the hill here, there's a bear and a man. Man's taking a crap, and there's the bear kind of looking for him. Or the other way around, whatever you guys want to do. We've came up close as far as the power plant here. It's an old power plant. Guy is supposed to go down here, kind of. So the power plant, kind of fixing a window on that needs to be glued back in. There's a lot of things going on with the coal mine here. People are kind of fixing it up more and more on this railroad. There are deer up here on the top here. If you can see that, there's some deer jumping around up here up on the hill. There's a flock of them. Down here at the coal mine, you got guys moving stuff around. A couple old bulldozers moving around. You might notice what they are. The big yellow one, which is this one here, has got a scoop. This one was made by Hot Wheels. I think it's a Matchbox. I don't really know. You guys can tell me. I think it is a Matchbox. Coming along the edge of the mountains here, down into a river, a big bridge here, big railroad bridge, and then you get down below here, there's a waterfall, a couple people canoeing. These guys are going to go down through this waterfall here, which is there's not much there. There's a guy sitting here by the waterfall. There's a guy hiking over there. There's another person right there. The water people say, I'm going for the other people are like, no, let's go the opposite way. So, moving up the hill here, got a little railroad boxcar been turned into a house, and some people are moving there. There's the old outhouse up on the hill. There's a house up on the hill here where there are people washing their car. Climbing up the hill here, there's an old trailer up there. Another house up there. There's a moonshine still up in the hill, and that usually lights up. We'll zoom in so you guys could take a good look at it. Really cool. There's a person there, probably a police officer, watching like what's going on here. Illegal moonshine. So here's some people digging out probably a new house area, or digging the side of hill. There's a couple cars going up through here. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. It moves around here on this railroad. Power lines from here to here are being worked on. White truck, and we've came up to the coal mine. And there's another wood shack up on the hill there, close to the moonshine still. Just kind of find a way up there to the top. Coal mine here. It's fairly busy. There's a Southern Express truck coming up to pick up some loads, not coal. There's an old lifelike coaling tower here. If you guys remember seeing those in the old lifelike train, it's been turned into one of the coaling towers for a truck to pick up coal. A coal mine here has about 12 coal cars. It sits here when we do our operations sessions. My favorite little vehicle right here is this little Volkswagen truck here, this pickup truck. Moving down here, here's a railroad pickup truck heading up the road into the mountains, Baltimore, Ohio Railroad, which I really like that one, the navy blue pickup truck. Coming up the road here is another truck heading up to the crossing, probably up to the mine there. We got a little oil refinery here. There are some old trucks here. The Penco semi-truck coming to pick up some fuel. A Texaco truck. There's Amoco and a few other companies here picking up the loads. We'll look up here in the woods and see what's going on. See if we can spot some more detail up here in the mountains. Big old buck up here sitting up in the woods. Yeah, it looks like they're cutting some trees down up here and got some logs rolling down the hill. Not a good thing on the railroad. It looks like they're cutting the trees down, logging season ready to go. Follow the railroad line around here. There are two tunnels here. There is a reverse track, which is the curve tunnel. This one here is the curve tunnel for the reverse loop, so turn the train around and it comes back out here. We got a tunnel that goes to the yard, and there's another track tunnel. And it's very interesting. The railroad here. There's a guy with a peg leg here at the railroad crossing. Moving right along here. We have made it back to a company doing propane. Here's a truck here and a fire truck waiting for if something would happen. Now we're into the big city here. There's a lot of people. There's some people sitting there and some cars heading there. And if you guys notice me on Instagram, I love to take pictures of trains going through here. There's a passenger train sitting there at the station, an 1800s passenger train ready to go. Here at the town, it's pretty busy. You have a general store. You have a Hortons or Italians. There's a drug place. Drug and soda fountains. There's Union Station, or Apple Grove is our biggest terminal on the railroad. There's some more buildings. Some neat cars here. It's a freelance railroad. We can run what we want to run. There's another railroad express truck. And an ice cream vehicle here. But the roundhouse, every steam engine's been moved out and everybody's been busy working on it. Here's a visiting steam engine from my railroad, a Pennsylvania consolidation steam engine. That's my DCC model power engine. So there's a lot going on here at the club, so we've just been busy, just trying to keep up what we need to do. Here's another garage here, an auto repair shop on this side. Like I said, there's just a lot that's happened. It's a pretty good size HO layout. And yeah, and then we have our 10 plate train layout, which we would like to run our Lionels in 10 plate trains. Now, like I said, there was another tunnel. There's the other tunnel, goes into the yard there. So, yeah, there's a lot to do up on here. Here's our N-scale T-track module, which I said there's not very much updates on this railroad here. It's a nice little layout. There's a lot going on. I like these buildings here. There's a lot of details. If you don't get the jokes on some of these buildings, trust me, you will. You just have to read what some of it is. Some of them are just different. A couple bicycle shops and that. Or it's this one here. Yeah, it's this one here. Now this layout is an N-scale layout, so the tracks are smaller here. So a lot of this stuff is N-scale stuff. Hers behind, and there's some funny little shops in this little town here. Ice cream parlor in the corner there. I'll go back to the N-scale room real quick and show you guys what's going on in there. Now this layout here, you guys, you've already seen what's been going on in here. Adding little details here and there on this N-scale layout, but not much of a difference. Just a lot of cleaning up on this railroad here. This layout, unfortunately, is being tore down, and it's no good, so we're moving another N-scale track. That N-scale T-track module layout you guys saw, that T-track module is coming over here. So we're ripping this whole entire big layout up. So there's not much we can't do to this one anymore. It's going to the trash. So we salvaged much as we could off of it, the track and roadbed. Some of this track like this here is just, it's in there too badly, so you can't really just rip it right off. So a lot of this track is just no good. It's junk. Well, we saved a lot of the good stuff, so we saved a lot of the good tracks, so I'm happy for what we could save off of it. So, yeah, we saved what we could off of here, but we did what we could. So we saved what we could on here, so this is all just being ripped up. So just wanted to show you guys what we're doing to this layout here. You guys have a nice night. This is Kokosing Valley Model Railroad signing out. It's probably one of my longest videos I have. Guys have a nice night. Bye.